Okay, so I'm going to start this video out with these two gentlemen here. Notice that they are with green screen, and that's it's kind of weird that they're using green screen, and I'll explain here in just a moment. Okay, so these two guys that started out in green screen, they are supposedly on the International Space Station, and what they're going to do is take some questions from, I think, some kids in grade school or whatever. But anyway, if you've ever watched any of the ISS footage like I do, they're always in zero gravity, supposedly, and their arms are always up here because they're floating, and they have to be tethered down or holding on to something. But these guys started out in green screen, and now they're sitting there with no effects of zero gravity whatsoever. Their arms are just comfortably by their sides, when every other time you see them, they're floating up here. But of course, the government relies on you not caring or not knowing. So anyways, I just thought I'd point that out. And because, if I would have met you in the street and told you this, I saw this footage where they're just sitting there, started out with a green screen, and their arms aren't floating around, and first thing you'd be trained to say is conspiracy theorist. That's what the government banks on. Okay, so we're going to compare what they can see in space compared to what the astronauts on Apollo 11 could see in space, and they're totally different. So which one's right, and who didn't get the no star memo? Let's take a look.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Because you can see the stars.
See how they're kind of confused. They were waiting to see what the other one would say. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty much all the time.
All the time.
You see stars.
Oops, wait a minute. What's this? What? Who are these guys?
We were never able to see stars
What?
on the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon.
No way. This is impossible.
The sky is a deep black
What?
when viewed from the moon, as it is
What?
when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon. And we cannot see stars.
It's not a
This is the
black
cool thing.
void. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
There's all the stars
What?
there. And the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
And when you're in space and you're looking into deep space and you're on the sun side of the orbit, the sunlight washes out all the starlight.
Okay, so at this point I'm confused. Who's lying here?
So you can't see any stars, just like here on Earth.
There's all the stars there. And the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
Oh, somebody didn't get the no stars memo. Woohoo!
Yeah, you can't end. There's more than stars.
Oh.
You can see planets.
Oh yeah.
You can
Right.
see moons.
Yeah.
You see the gas.
You don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, you see the Atlantic.
Spectacular view, right?
The sunlight washes out all the
Washes it
starlight, so
out.
you can't see any stars,
Can't
just
see
like
nothing.
here on Earth.
Oops.
Pretty much all the time.
All the time.
You can see the stars.
Then when you look out into deep space away from the sun, it's the darkest black
Dark.
you can imagine. Sea of darkness, and the most frightening darkness that you could ever imagine.
Pretty much all the time you can see
Yeah.
the stars.
Yeah.
This is from Mark Cameron. This is from Mark Cameron.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
And the most frightening darkness that you could ever imagine.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
The sky, of course, was black,
What?
but it had sort of a velvet sheen to it.
The biggest visual
Sure.
surprise was just how black the sky was.
Sure.
You have a brilliant sun, brighter than any sun you normally would see, even here in New Mexico.
Really?
You have these extraordinarily high mountains. We were in a valley deeper than the Grand Canyon.
I don't remember. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever remember them going down into canyons. Maybe I'm wrong.
But then you had this black sky, a sky blacker than black, as the old Vidicon expression used to be.
There's all the stars there. And the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
I've often tried to explain
What?
the difference between darkness, when you turn out the lights and it's dark in here, or blackness,
What is it?
Blackness the
Which one is it?
endlessness Of it all. It's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, this is what's hard to comprehend.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
Oh yeah. All the time.
It was all recorded on these telemetry tapes. So where is this hard evidence?
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
But your own research has shown the telemetry data is missing.
That's right.
Could this be true? Mankind's first interplanetary exploration and the original science data is missing?
11, this is Houston, radio check, over.
If it's anywhere, it should be here at NASA's Goddard Space Center in Maryland, home to the National Space Science Data Archives.
This film you're making now, what is it? Does it have a name? I mean, do you have a name for it yet, or
I'm calling it Did We Go?
Did We Go? Okay.
Doesn't have it either. The Smithsonian doesn't have it. Johnson doesn't have it.
Right. We've been unable to track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
NASA admitted that it had lost the original footage of man's first steps on the moon.
NASA has lost all the original Apollo moon landing footage and telemetry data. So to try and verify the original footage or the data that's in the modules that supposedly went to and from the moon, you can't check those now. So there's no physical confirmable evidence that they were anywhere but a sound studio.
Yeah, and I want the audience to understand what you just said. Folks, what Eric is saying, that the most heralded, most famous accomplishment of mankind, of humans, the landing on the moon, NASA lost everything.